Alright, so a couple weeks ago, I made a two-part video where I scrolled through all of Fiona Harvey's Facebook posts. Now, on that video, I simply wanted to display the posts and to show her frequent posting activity. So it took me about an hour just to scroll through all of her Facebook posts. And all of those posts were from only about 2 weeks of posting activity. And that is me scrolling through her posts without even reading them. Because if it took me an hour just to scroll through them, then we can only imagine how long it would have taken for me to also read these posts audibly. It probably would have taken me probably like 7 to 8 hours. But a lot of people complained in the comments that they had wanted me to read all of Fiona's posts. Well, obviously I can't do that, but I will read through a lot of them on this video. Now, it's a good thing I did make a video scrolling through all of her posts, because just a few days later, she put this account on private. So the posts that I put up on that video are now gone. They're no longer accessible for us to look at. So it's a good thing I was able to get that video out before she shut down her Facebook account. But I did see the comments where people were disappointed that I didn't audibly read the posts, so I'll go ahead and do that for this video. And a lot of people have commented that they think it's funny when I put on the fake Fiona Harvey Scottish accent. And then some others have commented that it's not funny and that the accent is terrible. But yeah, I think that's the point. Obviously, the accent is bad. That's why a lot of people think it's funny. It's not because I actually believe that I'm doing a really good accent. So, to those who think it's funny and those who think it's cringy, you're both right. So, with that in mind, let's get to the posts. And just one more thing, journalists came to me this week and I spent hours with them. They don't believe Richard Gadd either. No one normal believes him. When he defames me and when his crazy fans do, we report to police and lawyers. I tried debating with him one tonight from Wales. It was like talking to the great brain dead. I don't have time. Serious consideration is being given to shutting down that daft theater course he did at Glasgow. Too many dafties on it. When the press print the true story, you'll be the first to know. It's amazing the stories in Camden about Gadd and the Halley Arms. I may just publish all of them for the hell of it. That's what he seems to have done with me. Just leave me alone. Real genuine friends have phoned me. People like Richard Gadd and his cronies have no real friends. Leave us alone. Do you know something else? I'm really glad Richard Gadd has made loads of money because he ain't pleading poverty. His father was a FG Uni professor. They were hardly poor. I've never known Gadd to buy anyone a pint or do anyone a favor. I met him fleetingly years and years ago, but loads of people say he's greedy and mean with money. He had a strict middle-class upbringing. I think Daddy paid for him to go to a special school. These folk, I think, they are better than the rest of us and go around abusing. It's very common. Well, they are not better, and they don't get to abuse people long term. Whether he went to one of these schools, whether they are abused, I don't know. A brand new internet provider crashing again. I was in the middle of writing another post about Richard Gadd's lies. It would have to wait. Every time I write an important post, this internet crashed. It concerned John Clancy, who worked for the Hockey Arms the same time as Gadd. But you see, Gadd is scared of Abby's money, so wouldn't challenge John on anything. But he'll do winning over. Gadd acts like an inkish person. He's scared of Crouching Clancy. John Clancy was 19 when he worked in the Halley Arms. Gadd was 23. John had 8 women on the go at one point, all tearing each other's eyes out. Abby Clancy keeps John, who has never had a job. Wait, I thought you just said that he worked at the Halley Arms. So how did he never have a job? John just used to randomly have with these poor deluded women upstairs in the Halley Arms. I'm sure he's a good Catholic boy, really. That was a joke, by the way. Why didn't Gadd write about him or his colleagues Jimmy being arrested by police? Well, they were men, and he won't stand up to men, will he? He prefers to pick on women. Coward, bully, little shite. I do hope Netflix saw the last posting. I really do. Netflix have not given a comment on this. Maybe I'll write to them. Netflix seems to be running scared of everyone's lawyers regarding this Richard Gadd show. Can't think why, can you? And Gadd's own lawyers or his publicists are scared. Good. I would have thought Richard Gadd would have slept with enough rent boy barristers not to have to bother with lawyers from what he said to people in the Halley Arms, but silly me, maybe none of them would act for him in current litigation against him. I'm just a silly woman after all, aren't I? LOL. What do I know? I'm not a dropout in theater studies from Glasgow Uni. Silly me. Anyway, I do hope Richard Gadd has a pleasant night's sleep with all his fluffy reindeers. No doubt his mommy bought him. He's a fluffy toy kind of guy, eh? Anyway, that's enough about that wee wazok. My very good friend from America has just emailed. It's obviously about 9:30 there. She'd seen none of this Richard Gadd nonsense. Neither had I since last weekend. She's reading horrible things about me written from non-entity accounts. Please, fans of Richard Gadd, stop stalking me. It's upsetting not only for me, but my close friends. We do not live our lives going to see nutty plays. We don't live our lives online like the Gadd stalkers do. This is very, very upsetting for them to read. This has gone on for at least a week now. Just grow up and behave. As I say, all dodgy postings like that are going to police. Just stop posting threats. My friends are only just getting round there reading this. They are not unemployed 20-somethings. They are busy all week. Life is very short and you are saying vile things that are really not true. I thought Russell Brand fans were the pits. God fans are 10 times worse. Just stop it. If I could just explain to Richard Gadd fans, Martha is not a real person. Is Gadd bringing all the trauma he allegedly experienced into a show, creating a fictional hyperbole woman called Martha? It's like Batman, Mickey Mouse, whatever. These characters don't exist in real life. It's been done to exercise his demons, primarily make money because he's greedy, etc., etc. It's called horror fiction. Now, if it's okay with everybody, I'd like a sandwich before I continue. I've just moved home. My boyfriend and I are very hungry. We like some food. I'm sure Neil Sears is getting food. He's fat and ugly enough to be CTD then. Now I've had my sandwich. My boyfriend is going out. He's a lawyer. He's also very pissed off with Neil Sears, as is everyone I know. Do not deal with him. With reference to the stalker article Richard Gadd and his supporters have been putting out online for days, I would say the following. I worked for Laura Walker for 2 weeks. I was headhunted from another firm because I had labor law experience. She had sacked so many employees and was all over the press and needed someone with that experience. I bear her no ill will. She inherited her firm from an alcoholic father and couldn't cope. I walked. I have had to cancel more meetings today. I was also assured that stalker rubbish from 1997 had been taken off Google. Clearly it had not. So Gadd was Googling up people in the bar, wrote a defamatory play, and always wanted the names to come out. That's what happened. I do hope Gadd and his Dundee professor father are very happy with themselves. No one else is. I do not know the full contents of Richard Gadd's lawyer's letter to the Daily Mail, Daily Fail. Neil distorted so many facts to me. I just know the Daily Mail are not to be trusted, and Neil has done a number on me. Will I charge him $3 grand an hour for my time this week? Because that's my rate when my new company starts up. I didn't go to any newspaper. The Daily Fail banded my mobile about and they came to me. I hope this provides an ill explanation. I'm very clever. I'm not going to be shut up anymore and have people distorting what I say. When it comes to dealing with folk like that, dictaphone is all on the time. What do folk take me for, a thicko? God, nothing could be further from the truth. My patience is exhausted with this Gadd nonsense. New rules from now on. If someone wants an email at 4 a.m., unless they pay me a fortune for it, they are not getting it. No phone calls after 5. No phone calls before midday. No emails or info unless they pay for it. Friends can phone me anytime. I would bend over backwards for friends, but phones will be off at certain times. If I post something on here, it's bloody well up to me. All people have done is make money out of me and exploit me. No more. New rules. Whilst I'm sitting here with no dinner because we've not been able to do shopping and the takeaway folk being rude on the phone, we have no dinner. I'm in pains to answer the question who's worse, Gad or Neil at the Daily Fail. I don't know. Both have intimidated the life out of me this week. It's vile misogyny, disability, hate crime, and the rest. I'm diabetic, therefore disabled under the Equality Act. I don't know who's worse. What do people call Martha eat anyway? LOL. By the looks of her, chips and cakes. LOL. What do people like Martha eat? Baby reindeers? LOL. Or the stalkers called Martha eat their victims? LOL. Laugh or cry? Domino's Pizza no longer on special offer. There's a crime versus humanity, I would have thought. LOL. Publicists have been phoning me galore. I'll hire one, so on. I'll be checking out their details. Until then, no more questions on the idiot Gad and his idiot show. There's been a week of harassment, etc. It's not acceptable on any level. Mr. Gad may still be uncertain about his sexuality as he was commenting to the Daily Mail today. I've always known I'm a woman, and a very successful woman, so I resent that weed creep Neil at the Daily Fail asking me about previous boyfriends and current. Little creep. I felt like a victim on the stand. I will also take the bulk of next week ignoring reporters. They write what they want anyway. The men I have been involved with are real men. They don't like bullying little fantasists and sick journalists. In fact, they hate them. All my male friends are furious. My women friends are horrified. That's all that idiot Neil needs to know. Okay, so this post was at 2 p.m. as you can see. So then at 2:01 p.m. she writes, I will now be off Facebook until I get publicists arranged. Several have been in touch. Okay, and then 1 minute later at 2:02 p.m., bye for now. Okay, so since she will be off Facebook, how long until she posts again? I'll start the over-under at 2 days. Do you think she can go longer than 2 days without posting? Let's find out. And the next post, 2:18 p.m. So she managed to stay off Facebook for an entire 16 minutes. But maybe she just has something important to add before her Facebook hiatus begins. So let's see what her post says. The internet is still crashing. Okay, so basically what she's saying here is during those 16 minutes that she hadn't posted, she would have posted sooner than 2:18. But the reason that she hadn't posted sooner within 16 minutes was because her internet was crashing. So it seems that's the only reason that she waited the entire 16 minutes. This internet is still crashing. Most people, when they sit down for 4 hours with a reporter and a tape, expect that to be printed. They do not expect a Daily Fail to print what Gad's crappy weed lawyers want. And it is a bad law firm. They, them, don't expect a woman to write part of the article that I've never met. Maybe Gad's lawyers have a section for the criminally insane he uses. He's always accusing everyone else of being insane. I'm not. He is. He planned this all along and everyone knows it. Oh, okay. Well, it's a good thing she added that to help clarify her position and not just continue repeating herself over and over. Okay, so that was on April 27th of this year, 2024. And she just said she's going off Facebook. But let's scroll through all of her posts for just the remainder of this day. Just the remainder of April 27th. After she said she was taking a break from Facebook. Wow, okay, so that's what a Facebook break looks like according to Fiona Harvey. She says she's going off Facebook and then posts 24 more times the same day. Okay, so now let's venture into the next day, April 28th. Another thing I did want to say about the Richard Gadd saga was the following. It was on my mind last night when he did an article for the Mail saying his fellow barmen thought he had an admirer. I was never an admirer of Richard Gadd. Richard Gadd kept moaning about money and being badly paid by the bar owner. We exchanged Scottish banter. I said, well, look, we all have to do 3 gaudy jobs and we are young. Richard Gadd and I had never been involved romantically, never been put on dates. I had a steady boyfriend when I met Richard. He knew that. Never been on picnics and I've not done 9 years in jail. Never been in trouble. So as you can imagine, this is all news to me, the contents of this play. I've never fancied Richard Gadd. The day he asked me to sleep with him, he had a big green spot on his face. Huge. This will amuse fans, but it's true. I obviously said no, I don't fancy him. Was him exploring his sexuality? God only knows. He may be making up this PTSD. God only knows. I have a good sense of humor. I tend to banter with folk in my personal life. If we had not been Scottish, we probably would have never spoken. I do know the other Halley Arms barmen were vicious to women. I found this out years later. I know someone who worked for MTV, which used to be round the corner. Oh, they're vicious and they're the women, he said. They act like school kids making up stories. Then we had the music exec who I met years ago in Camden Town. She fessed up. She had been out with a Halley Arms barman during Gadd's time. He beat her up. Staff in there found it funny. He was bragging about it. This is the background to Camden and the Halley Arms. Now I need to try and get done today all the things that weren't done last week. Lucky old me, eh? I'd also like to make a point about the demon drink. I rarely drink alcohol. The last time I got drunk with my pals was age 29. I'm 58. I went to the Halley Arms to eat 3 or 4 times. We have been told the chef was good. He was fired soon after by the alcoholic owner. The manager was an alcoholic. Staff drank on duty. Gadd used to drink a hell of a lot, and I believe that's inherited from our parents. So they were swimming in drink. I don't imbibe. And of course, Daily Mail reporters tend to be blind drunk a lot of the time. My interests, are music. I'm very musical, law, and politics. I know lots about these 3 subjects, so I was looking for a musical item in the press today. I'm a very good singer. Okay, so before she put her Facebook account on private, she had a video of her singing, and I actually made a screen recording just days before she pulled her page. So let's see if she's a good singer or not.
Don't be fooled by the rocks that are cats. I'm just Jenny from the block. Have a lot. Don't be fooled by the rocks that are cats. I'm just Jenny from the block.
Okay. Look out, Adele! The newspaper containing the musical item had sold out, so I didn't get it while food shopping. Some newspapers were still there, including the Sunday People. The actress who plays Martha was in a small section on the front page. I think her name is Jessica. Well, I think it would have been nice to have had an apology for all the chaos last week from her and Richard Gadd at the very least. He has been promoting himself endlessly for years. There's definitely main character syndrome there. I did notice Jessica was all over BBC Breaking News last weekend for several days saying rule of lifetime. I'm not a betting woman, but I would wager this article today is the same as those articles last weekend. I may be wrong, but I'm smelling publicity-seeking jobbing actors and actresses. I'm not Tammy Winehouse. I'm not a wreck on drinking drugs. I don't know her, but I have seen how she was cheated by the Hallie Arms. Gadd used to berate her. Well, considering that silly pub has done nothing but trade on a name, I can safely say it's a pub that uses and abuses women. Well, it's not getting to use me. I went to a school that was good for music. I didn't go to a fee-paying, pretty useless school like Gadd. We were poor, but my parents did not freeload. Particularly my mom worked very hard. Bye for now. The truth must be boring for the 20th Gaddites. Well, it looks like she's going on another Facebook hiatus. That's April 28th at 12:58 p.m. So how long until she posts again? A, 2 days. B, 2 hours. C, 2 minutes. Let's see. Alright, next post April 28th at 1:31 p.m. So you were all wrong. Her new Facebook hiatus lasted a massive 33 minutes. That's twice as long as her previous break from the day before. But obviously she needed to come back to post something really important. So let's see what it says. I can honestly say I've never ever met such lazy, incompetent removal men ever. There's a storage room enough for 60 boxes. They have lazily put in 20. Okay, well, I'm glad she broke her hiatus to tell us that. I had to stop unpacking all week because folk wouldn't get off my phones. Folk were always OJ my phones, but not the pandemonium it was last week. It's pretty bad just now trying to get anything done properly in the whole inner and outer London area. Folks seem not to give a damn about doing their jobs, particularly lazy men. The threats and intimidation we've had not to claim off their insurance have been unbelievable. It really was well, send the heavies round. Never seen anything like it. And the people who arranged this did nothing till last Thursday. It's been a nightmare. They met me back at the old flat to assess loads of damage. Okay, so has anyone else noticed a recurring theme with Fiona's posts? She complains about every person she comes in contact with. Here, it's the movers. Yesterday, she couldn't get dinner because she was complaining about how rude the service was when she called to place her order. And on some previous posts, she was complaining about how rude her hairdresser was. So not only does she have a complaint against Richard Gadd, Laura Ray, Neil Sears, the Daily Mail, the Prime Minister, the Prime Minister's wife, Amy Winehouse, Netflix, Piers Morgan, the owner of the Hallie Arms, the manager of the Hallie Arms, every barman at the Hallie Arms, nearly every patron at the Hallie Arms. She also seems to have an issue with every service person she encounters as well. So either she's truly cursed and desperately needs our prayers, or maybe there's a chance she is the problem, or at least a large part of the problem. I understand we can get bad service at times, but not every time, everywhere we go. Alright, so those posts I've gone over are from April 25th through April 28th. Only 4 days. And those were only some of those 4 days. There are just too many posts for me to cover all of them, but you get the gist. So I didn't even get to May. If you want me to make a second video like this and start going over some of the posts from May, let me know in the comments and maybe I'll do another one. So that's about it for this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Thanks for watching and God bless.